Hi, Gregory. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Good, good. So thanks
Good.
for joining us in this short podcast. We are the professional engineers in Ontario, and here in Grand River chapter, there's about 5,000 of us, and we have, if you recall, we have hired you in the past. I cannot recall, but in 2016 and 2018, and we had a very positive feedback about your workshop with us. So after this 3 year pandemic period, we decided, let's try resume activities and go back to what we have been doing before.
Right.
So, Gregory, before we start our discussion on the topic of the workshop, can you introduce a bit yourself and how you started to become a professional speaker?
Well, let me see. Back a good, I was about 26 years old, somewhere around there. And you know, when you're growing up, you have all these dreams, aspirations, all these things you want to do in your life. I get
Yeah.
to age 26. We had two children by then, or one and one on the way. And I got to realize, man, all these dreams and goals I really wanted to achieve, it didn't look like any would happen for me. So I realized I had to make a change. And I remember a friend of mine, he was a police officer, and he had a friend who was a businessman, a successful businessman. And the thought in my mind was, ask this guy to be your mentor. And then, of course, I'm having this conversation in my head. Yeah, you go over there, you talk to this guy, he says no. How embarrassing would that be? Or even worse, the guy probably would not even acknowledge you.
Hmm.
But then the thought occurred to me, well, you have nothing to lose. I mean, right now you don't have a mentor anyway. So walking over to this guy, if he says no, you haven't received, you haven't lost anything because you don't have it. But if he says yes, you win. So I walked over there, asked him if he'd be my mentor, and he said yes. And
Oh, that's great.
it was fantastic. I was shocked, of course, right? and then, but then he said to me, just don't waste my time. And I said, no, sir. They lived in Oakville. We lived in Kitchener-Waterloo at the time. And the deal was that we would meet at least once a month and we'd have to take our finances to them, different challenges we had, and so on.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because we had to get a babysitter, of course, once a month kind of thing. Sometimes twice a month we'd meet with them. And I remember there was once or twice in our time together, we never left their place till like 5 in the morning. And we would start at 10 o'clock at night
Oh,
because they had younger children, so they would get them in bed and so on, right? And then they could devote their time to us. And there was a couple times over the years, kind of thing, that we actually left like 5 o'clock in the morning. Get home. Lucky thing we had good babysitting, right? So it worked out well. But he had me do three things. My wife Gemma and I do three things. Number one, we had to be in the book of the month club. I
uh-huh.
hated reading books. I didn't care about reading books at all. And he said, I want you reading books. And I guess he saw the look in my eye or my body language, whatever it was. He said, you're not interested? I said, well, I don't really read books much. And then he said to me, listen, the wisdom of the ages are locked up in books.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And yeah, and he said, what you could learn, and the idea is to develop yourself, to grow and learn, and you'll be a different person in 5, 10 years. So I started reading books. And the interesting thing he did with me was he started off by the first book, he ripped it into sections. He literally took the book and ripped it into sections, and he gave me 2 pages. Oh, no, no, 5 pages. He said, read
Uh-huh.
that. When we meet again, I'll give you five more. And that's how it started, right? And it's like, man, ooh, I started reading the book. It was really good. So it was a book, I still remember all these years now, Who Stole the American Dream. I
Okay.
can't remember the author's name now, but he was from Cuba, and he came to him and his family came to America and so on. But that was a phenomenal book,
So
entrepreneurial.
from that experience, Gregory, sorry to cut you off, but how did you started to become a professional speaker and started speaking in front of many people?
So after reading, so three things. Number one, read books. Number two, attend workshops and seminars. And then number three, listen to successful people. So back then, audio tapes and the CDs and so on. Right now, it's podcasts. Right, listen to these people. And so after like a year and a half, 2 years, just devouring all this information, I was having a conversation with a couple people,
Uh-huh.
and speaking about business and stuff and success principles, that kind of thing. And they said, "How would you like to come and do a talk to our club?" And that's where it started. And then high schools and that kind of thing. And that's where it started from. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So the last, if I recall, I first met you and I first know about you way back in 2012, I believe, when I was still also active in Toastmasters, and you were
yes.
already well known in the Toastmasters in our community because you have been into district and international competitions. So was that before or after you have met this of yours?
Oh yeah, this was way after. Yeah,
Way
this was
after.
way after.
So you have
Yes,
already been speaking in front of many people. So you were just polishing
yes,
your public speaking skills through
yeah.
Toastmasters.
Well, actually, if we back up a little bit, where I really got my foundation in public speaking was at church. Because
Oh, okay.
my parents joined church when I was 10 years old. So we got into church, and this church, non-denominational, and what they did was young men had to do presentations, had to speak, had to give sermons and stuff. So at age 10, you had to start by reading scriptures, man, out loud to people, kind of thing, take turns, right? And
Yeah.
guiding little Bible classes and stuff. And so I got years and years and years of practice. So when I so get joining Toastmasters or just standing in front of an audience, it was the easiest thing for me because I've been doing since I was 11 years old, 10, 11.
So you were natural into it already.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was the easiest thing.
so during those years, you have authored some books, and at the same time, you have written your own subject matters on personality development workshops. And one of those is what we will be hiring you for our membership in Professional Engineers Ontario. The topic is becoming unstoppable: keys to success for engineers and professionals. So, would you be able to give me an idea what a synopsis of this workshop, and what would at the end of this workshop, what would the participants learn and gain from it?
Okay. Well, it's very simple. You are already unstoppable. It's just you don't know it. As an engineer, you have amazing abilities and talents. But so many times we start looking at, well, actually, we start comparing ourselves to other people, and that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah.
We compare ourselves to people because we, from a very early age, we start learning certain things, and and the idea now is not comparing yourself to anyone else, but understanding who you are, what you are all about, and actually staying in your lane. And I remember one of the things that Oprah Winfrey said many, many years ago when she was being interviewed after, I think, 25 years of success, and they asked her, how did you get all this success? And she said, I learned to stay in my zone. I found out what I was really good at, and I stayed in my zone. And that's what you have to understand. You have certain abilities and talents, but if you are not applying it, and if you don't really become consciously aware of what you're all about and
Uh-huh.
how you achieve certain things, nothing works for you. So in order to become unstoppable, it's understanding you already have the ability. You're already
Uh-huh.
doing things, but it's understanding how and why you're doing. What's your why? Understanding what these talents and abilities are, and you tap into it all the time. But the thing is now realizing, when do you tap into it? What forces you to actually start doing that?
Uh-huh.
Because what happens is we do things, usually it's on a subconscious level. And becoming unstoppable means you have to now become consciously aware of what you're all about. Become consciously aware of your talents, your abilities, the power that you have within you, and how to do it. Because usually it's when you're forced to do something that you actually start doing it. Now it's actually becoming so aware of what you're all about that you tap into it whenever you want to.
We're trying to compress this into 3 hours only on a Saturday morning. So, with what you said that we're gonna uh, train people to become unstoppable, will there be sufficient time and to be able to transfer this information within the few hours that we will be together on this workshop?
Oh, definitely. Because the thing is, my thing is all about facts, and we're dealing with you. So we're not dealing with any theories. We're looking at your life, your situation, how you operate, and how you tap into your abilities and talents and the power that you have within. And it's not that difficult because all you have to do is look into your own life, which is takes a fraction of a second, right? Because all about your memory. It's all about the mind that you have.
So I have heard some of your workshops before, and at the end of the workshop, people walk out and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna do something about my life." So is this what our participants in this workshop will expect on October
Exactly.
28th?
Definitely. Yes. You're going to be walking out saying, yes, now I really understand what I'm all about. Because so many times we're down on ourselves. And again, because we compare ourselves to other people or because something didn't go right. And what I'm going to show you is it doesn't matter if something didn't go right. You are able to change things all the time. You're able to change things because why? If you look at your life, you get to realize you've been doing it all your life. It's
Yeah,
just we forget about all these things.
sometimes you have key combinations and you have six numbers there into the tumbler, and you have all the five numbers correct, but you're just missing the final number to open the
Yes,
lock. And by
exactly.
listening to personality development workshops like this, you will find the last number that completes the combination
Yep,
in the lock and opens it, and opens the door for more possibilities. So this is
exactly.
what our participants can expect attending and listening to your workshop.
Yes, exactly. And you free your mind and open up to so many more possibilities because it's all there. It's just now you have to become free to actually start seeing it.
All right. So I don't want to keep too much of your time, Gregory, but we'll be excited to listen to your entire workshop on a Saturday morning, October 28th, 2023, which will be held in Bingemans Conference Center in Kitchener.
Awesome.
So hope to see you there. And any last words to our potential participants?
Come with an open mind and excitement, and everything is going to change because, like Anthony Robbins' mentor, Jim Rohn, said, if you will change, everything will change for you. And that's what it's all about.
All right. Thank you very much, Gregory.
Awesome.
And
Thank
have,
you.
yeah, have a good night.
Okay, you too.